And welcome to Hyperspace Heroes. This is Brown Leader signing in. Who else do we have today?
Brown 2 is here and signing in.
Brown 4 standing by.
All right, guys, here we are. Day one of ICCC here in Lebanon, just outside Nashville, Tennessee. We are back for our second year, and I am just totally excited. How are you guys feeling?
I've been waiting 365 days plus, because it's a little more than a year for this
true.
one.
Mm-hmm.
But it is Memorial Day weekend, and shout out to all those back in northern Michigan covering our jobs this weekend.
Hopefully there's no snow.
And I'm going to sneak this in. Today is also Brown Leader's birthday, so we need to say happy birthday to Brown Leader.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Scruffy, how you doing?
Excellent. Looking forward to getting out there on the showroom floor. Got some autographs to get today.
All right.
I got some more stuff to buy today.
Nice. So we are, first of all, we are broadcasting live from the Veterans Building at the Wilson County Farm Bureau Expo Center here in Lebanon, Tennessee, like I said. And I just wanted to point that out because we are recording during Memorial Day weekend, and I just wanted to, give a tribute since we're in this building and say thank you to all the veterans that have served us over the years.
Amen.
Thank you for our service.
So, all right, we're back here. I want to thank Mike and the ICCC crew, the ECPC TV crew for providing this space for us. They put on a great show here, and if you've never been here, you definitely should be coming down to this. So we are back. It's day one. The show has just started. It's VIP day, so we really haven't had much of a chance to go see the show yet. But what are your goals? What are your expectations you want to see, DB?
I am Army building action figures for dioramas. I'm not buying anything carded and really expensive. I need to have lots of little guys to put in my vintage play sets.
Nice. How about you, Scruff?
Well, I am after some expensive pieces, but we'll see how far I get with that. But also looking to update the Hammerhead Army, the Gaunt Droid Army. So looking forward to finding some good figures out there today.
Very nice. So that kind of leads into one of our segments that we normally do on the show, which is Collection Corner.
Which is usually one of the last segments, but let's put it first because this is the con.
Exactly. This show is directly about ICC. It's about collecting. It's part of the Imperial Commissary, and so what are your Or let me backtrack. So we got down here about a day and a half ago, and as collectors, we definitely did not wait for the con to start purchasing, much to the dismay of our credit cards. So, for the collection, what have you collected so far on this trip?
That depends. Is Mrs. DB watching this?
Good.
Hang on.
Yes, she probably is.
I have spent no money. No.
Yeah, me neither.
No, one of the great unique features about this con are the hotel room sales. People open their door and sell their things right out of their hotel rooms. And on day -1, I may have already purchased some action figures. And on day 0, an Ewok playset might have fallen into my. I don't know. But,
So that's what sprouted up in our room.
yeah,
Okay.
I didn't plant any trees. That's an Ewok village.
Very
So,
nice. Very
yeah.
nice. And Scruff, what about you so far?
Oh, let's see. No, wait. I haven't bought anything yet. I did pick up some hammerheads, picked up some Gaunt Droids, couple other action figures. I'm trying to keep it a little low-key on day -1. But, yeah, the wallet did get a workout yesterday.
Right, and unfortunately, room sales started up early, so that's what led to some of that, the purchasing. So we also went over to the IC Toy Store yesterday and checked that out. For Collection Corner, I guess my segment, the guys were really cool this morning and gave me a Boba Fett soda pop can bobblehead that I had ordered but had been canceled. So thank you guys for that.
Absolutely.
That was very cool.
Came from a room sale.
It did. I picked up, a Han Solo and Frozen in Carbonite and something for Brownie 1. So I'm not going to say what it is because he's going to have to wait. But I also wanted to point out that not just is it my birthday, but Monday when we're making that long drive back north, it's going to be Scruffy's birthday. So I did add something to the collection corner.
He doesn't know this is coming.
Yes, he doesn't even know. So regular listeners of our show know that Scruffy is building a gonk army as part of his collection. And with every army, you've got to have a leader. So,
Oh, yes.
so we picked this up at the IC store yesterday, and it is a fighting droids with a fighting gong.
You picked this up at IC store yesterday.
Right
Yeah.
under your nose.
Right
How
under
did
your
I
nose.
Missed that.
You weren't paying attention.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
very,
you.
very
guys.
normal, very normal. So, yeah, so happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, back on VIP day really quick. So, with VIP, who are you going to try to hit up today, or are you going to wait till tomorrow on some of the autographs?
You know, today's already been a success because Scruffy and I were walking back here to the podcast building a short time ago, and who pulled up behind us but Mr. Michael Havens? Not to fanboy too much, but the guy is a genius. He's created this entire convention that's just phenomenal. It's a family. It's not a convention. But he hung out and talked with us for a few minutes, and then we walked in, and here comes Vanessa Marshall, who preceded us on this podcast. And she was kind enough to stop and take pictures with us. So, I mean, we're 2 for 2, and we haven't even gone in the main building yet.
Right on. Scruffy, anybody you're going to try to get to today?
I'd like to get to Sleep Bloom today.
Yes,
Try
definitely.
to get that in. But Ian McDermott, I'm going to try and get that in today too. But I want to hit that show floor today. We got VIP access, so there's only 350 VIP passes in there today. So shopping is good today.
Right on, for sure. Okay, so with the time we have left, I want to talk about, I did have a topic that I wanted to touch on really quick, kind of a quick 5 little minute conversation. So you mentioned Vanessa Marshall, who we just had on, who is voice actor for Rebels. And with this con, it's expanding beyond Star Wars. You know, you've got basically a Daredevil reunion this year, Marvel Daredevil. And the Star Wars universe is so big and epic. It spans every media type that you can get nowadays. You know, you've got your movies, your live action streaming, your animation, your books, your comics. High Republic has really embraced that a lot in terms of doing the multimedia. So to kind of, for our last segment, I'm going to ask you guys, what Star Wars media is your media of choice and why?
Scruffy, you want to take that first?
I'll take it first. Being in the older demographic, use that term loosely, I was always a fan of the live action because that's all we had. We had the Ewok cartoons, the droid cartoons, and while they were okay back then, they don't stand the test of time very well. But as of lately, I've really enjoyed the animation coming up. The Rebels, the Bad Batch, and how it's kind of filled in the gaps to answer some of the questions we always had about the Clone Wars. I mean, we heard about the Clone Wars back from the original movies, but we never really knew what they were. And, we always had our headcanon going on about, trying to fill in what that story might be like, but now we have the true answers to all that. And that's really what I enjoyed about some of these cartoons. I mean, I love the live action too. Obi-Wan was great. I was really happy to see it with more Leia focused than it was Luke focused, because we kind of know that story a little bit. So, plus that cartoons gave us an introduction to characters that we only read about, like Thrawn.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoyed those cartoons, or the animation. Sorry.
Yeah, if I can piggyback off that, if you're done. Yeah, I grew up on the original trilogy, and that's all we had for so many years, and I filled the gaps with the old Marvel comic books. And they didn't age very well, but that's all we had. But then we got the prequels, and then we got the initial Clone Wars shorts, and then we got the Clone Wars, which I did not get into originally, and when I did, I binged the entire series until that 7th season came out quite a bit later. And then the Bad Batch has just blown me away with not only its stories, but the animation. I mean, we're really starting to blur the lines between live action and animation. And the stories are crossing over. We're getting animated characters into live action and vice versa. I don't know if I have a favorite medium. They're just so interconnected at this point.
So you're talking about I'm sorry, Scruffy, go ahead.
So all that time you had your Marvel comic books, and you still held on to Jackson, huh?
Well, that's the one character I'd still like to see show up in live action. If
Agreed.
anybody's
Of course you
listening, Mr. Lucas or I guess he's not in charge anymore. But Mr. Filoni, would you please bring Jackson into live action?
No live rabbits.
What do you think, Brown Leader?
Yeah, I was going to piggyback off something that you said there, but I forgot what it is now. So,
You want me to repeat it?
My media of choice probably, and I'll kind of cheat a little bit here, which is headcanon. So I'm not much of a reader of fan fiction, but headcanon to me is my Star Wars of choice in a way, because you go back to the live action and what was he creating? Mythology. He was creating a space opera of mythology, and how do most myths get spread in the old days? You know, it was word of mouth, and stories change, they evolve, they develop over time, and that is also the medium that kept us going back during the dark days of, you know, when we didn't have much Star Wars to watch.
I remember playing on the playground. You grabbed a stick, and that was your blaster or your lightsaber until the teachers told you to put it down. Somebody's going to poke an eye out. But you're right. You made up your own stories.
Right, and pine cones were thermal detonators, and life was, you know, and whoever had the straightest stick had the lightsaber, and whoever, you know, and then the crooked ones all became blasters, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, which I did find one. I posted that on Twitter not too long ago. I found an ancient 80s blaster just walking through the forest.
Should have brought it. You probably could have sold it in a room sale or something.
I probably should have. Wow, I was missing out on that one.
Yes, you are.
So, all right. So we've got a couple minutes left, and with that, we'll resort back to a base question that we've always asked, which is, we'll end the show with this, which is, what does Star Wars mean to you?
For me, it's a reminder of my childhood. You know, when I go down to the Star Wars man cave, I can see the toys that I played with as a kid and just kind of remember a simpler time, I guess, you know. It just takes me away from reality for a little bit of bills and jobs and, you know.
Yeah, Star Wars allows me to not be the demographic that I am.
The adult?
Yeah, my happy place is my man cave. I mean, I'm surrounded by my childhood toys, and I'm not judged by those toys. And I'm not judged by anybody here at this convention either, because everybody's in that same boat. Am I right?
Yes.
And what about you, Brown Leader?
For me, it always just goes back to fun. It goes back to Star Wars just has to be fun for me, and it goes back to that. Anything that gives me that so Empire was the first film I saw in theaters, and we walked in late, and so the theater was already dark. And what did you see up on the screen? Hoth. You know, and from the age of, I was probably just turning 6 years old, and from that time on, it was just, bam, magic, and it was fun. So anytime Star Wars can be fun, that to me is what Star Wars means. So when Mando, you know, first came out, first episode of Mando, same kind of feeling.
Yeah.
To that. So, but yeah, all right.
I have to agree with you. The Empire Strikes Back, the Hoth battle is still my favorite battle. The original walkers are still terrifying to me, even with all the other magic that they've created over the years. It takes me back to my childhood. So I'm kind of melding both of your answers there. I'm cheating.
Seeing the Mandalorian trailer at Celebration in Chicago, I could see that little bit in you there.
For sure, for sure. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun, guys. You know, like I said, we're here live at ICCC. Again, we want to thank the ICCC crews, the ECPC TV crews, for just putting on a wonderful production stage here. Stay tuned today, especially follow them on Facebook, watch their live streams, because they're going to have a lot of Star Wars guests. And then tomorrow, make sure you guys come back and friends of ours, Rule the Galaxy, will be on tomorrow about midday. So
Yeah.
make sure you check those guys out. And and to follow us, to find us, just check all of our socials. Just look for Hyperspace Heroes or Brown Squadron. And that's where you can find us.
And a quick shout out to our watchers at home, especially my daughter Heather.
All right. And to our 3 fans that watch us on a regular basis, thank you very much.
Just 4.
4, okay. 4. All right. All right. I think with that, guys, I think we're ready to wrap up.
Wrap it up.
All right. So you have been listening to Hyperspace Heroes. That's no moon.